All right, welcome back to an episode of Beer, Bacon, and Bros. Always, I'm Alex. Got Chris, got Adam over here. Changed up the seating order, kind of threw me off a little bit. But coming out on the other end of the NHL All-Star break, but we're right before the trade deadline, so that's going to be the topic of tonight's video. But before we get into that, if you don't mind, just going over and commenting, subscribing, liking the videos, help us grow the family and continue to put out some great videos that we think are awesome. You guys might suck. Let us know if you think it sucks in the comments. We'll engage with you. But anyways, we're going to jump into this NHL trade deadline. Chris is over here sporting the jersey that I don't think until like 2 weeks ago he could spell Edmonton. I don't know.
I may not still be able to.
I was going to say, until today, I didn't even know he owned a hockey jersey.
He's pulling up like a LeBron fan thing.
I am.
Whereas like he's rooting for just the player.
Yeah. So if he moves teams, are you going to get the new team's jersey?
I might. I've been thinking about that. I don't know because I don't want to be a hypocrite. For a long time, being a Miami Heat fan, I hated when LeBron came and we had all of these fans that came with him, and it felt like Miami was like half of the nation fan-wise in the NBA.
Yeah, all of a sudden.
And then all of a sudden he leaves, and you're like, nobody's a Miami Heat fan except for me. And I'm like, okay, where'd everybody else go?
Where'd my Miami Heat fans go?
Yeah, but I mean, Connor's just like. He's just an incredible player. I personally believe he's the best player in the league right now. And so
I think that's a valid.
Yeah. So watching some of his videos. I don't have a hockey team. The closest one we have is like 4 hours away. And I mean, Hurricanes are cool, but I don't know. I've kind of like watched Connor, especially in the postseason last year when he absolutely dominated the first round for Edmonton. Like the guy was averaging like 3 points a game, and so for me, I kind of fell in love with him there.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. But anyways, trade deadlines. You got a lot of stuff pulled up.
I do, yeah. So
jump into this.
I've been kind of looking at the wire a little bit, seeing just kind of some of the things that people have been talking about. I actually made a little prediction of my own as well for your Pittsburgh Penguins, but the first thing that really everybody's been talking about is the Bruins adding another defenseman, and it sounds like the biggest thing for them is this guy from Columbus. I have no idea how to say his Russian name.
I'm going to think, the way I pronounce it is Vladislav Gavrikov. I'm screwing it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's actually rumors out there that Boston has been in contact with him, and there actually is some sort of verbal agreement between Boston and Columbus Blue Jackets to make this happen.
So is it kind of like waiting to like clear waivers? Or
well, it sounds like Boston needs to clear some cap space to be able to make this happen, and so
if they're able to do that, this is the guy they want to add.
Which is quite interesting for me. I mean, I don't know how you feel. I feel like Boston has quietly possibly been the best team in the league the whole year.
I wouldn't say quietly. To me, it's been very obvious that they're the best team in the league right now.
Their defensemen are leading. Their top two defensemen are leading them in plus minus on the team. So this seems like a guy that's certainly going to be a third or fourth line guy right now for them.
Just add some extra depth in that position.
Yeah,
I mean,
really.
And typically your defenseman is your toughest position to play. I mean, you're out there beating up on guys. You're back to being like the enforcers of the old times.
I mean, you're playing on the blue line, and it's
a lot of hitting.
It's a lot of hitting, a lot of moving around, and like you also still have to kind of have that offensive mentality because I mean, I think the way I like to see hockey teams work is defensemen back there at the blue line are almost kind of like the quarterback because they can pass the puck around, moving around. They can see everybody's moving around.
A young name, and I would say it, Jacob. I have no idea. Chichurin is how you would say his last name.
Chichurin, yeah.
So for the Arizona Coyotes, obviously we know Arizona's pretty much the worst team in the league, if not the literal worst team.
I think they are still the worst team. I know they were last year.
They're a joke right now.
Yeah. So they've talked about putting Jacob on the market. This guy's 24 years old, really young, talented defenseman. 8 on the plus minus right now, 28 points on the season. So. Not really sure where he's going to go, but it sounds like Arizona has put him out there.
Kind of like trade bait, try to get some picks in.
Yeah, the good thing about him is like he is young, he is showing production. There's a lot of teams right now. The NHL is getting
younger.
A lot of these teams that were younger have gotten older now, so they're kind of wanting to restart that cycle again. Yeah. So I mean that's just honestly the big key to him is that the fact he is 24. I mean, he's got plenty of years of skating ahead of him, and the fact that he's already productive at that young age. I mean, you get him with the right coaching staff, the right trainers, and stuff like that. He can just continue to get better. So that's like you said. They're literally just throwing his name out there and just seeing what kind of bites or nibbles they're going to get.
Yeah, the only team that apparently has inquired about him confirmed with NHL.com is the Calgary Flames, which makes a little sense. I mean, this was a team that lost some talent in the offseason to free agency, and so somebody that's also only 9 points back of the lead in the Pacific, so they have a good chance of making a run here. But again, not an Oilers fan, but this one's for the Oilers. Erik Karlsson from the San Jose Sharks. The Oilers have been in talks to acquire him. They need defensemen. They're leading the league. They have the top 2 point getters in the entire league in the NHL right now. They need somebody to play some freaking defense on the back end. But Erik also 76 points this season with 58 assists and 18 goals. 32-year-old from Sweden. Obviously, I think Edmonton really just trying to add some extra talent to their team to make a run here in the Pacific.
That's definitely like a posturing of win now or win in the next. Like we need to these next 3 seasons. And that's definitely what that's what I think they're posturing themselves for. Because I mean, McDavid's not. I mean, he is young, but he's not like the young hotshot anymore.
Yeah.
So it's kind of one of those things like, all right, let's not fuck this up. While he's still in his prime, let's do something right now while we can.
Yeah, I mean, it really feels like the Pacific's also pretty wide open. I mean, just 4 points back for Edmonton, who's technically in 4th place in the Pacific as well. So, adding somebody like Erik would really be able to kind of bolster their chances of really getting into the playoffs and then actually surviving the first round here.
Yeah.
So,
San Jose Sharks are involved in, I think, quite a few trades right now. I know they're in talks with the St. Louis Blues. I don't know. It seems like San Jose's they're trying to make moves as well. They're trying to do something.
So
they're either want to blow it up.
It looks like they're trying to clear house.
Yeah.
But also get, of course, any team in any sport, you're trying to get the best value you can for what you're trying to send out. But at the same time, like you're willing to step away from talent, knowing you're going to get, maybe at least a 2-for-1 or a 1-for-1 with a couple draft pick,
Yeah.
You're willing to do that to be like, I'm willing to sacrifice. Not that you're trying to tank this season, but you're willing to sacrifice. I'm giving up, a good defenseman or a good left wing, right wing, whatever it is. And just to get those incoming pieces, try to rebuild for the future.
If you're Edmonton, it's going to cost you at least 1 first rounder for Erik Karlsson. I mean, that's just the simple truth of it. The guy's got 78 points this season as a defenseman. Like, you're not just going to get that talented a guy. No matter how bad San Jose wants to probably rebuild right now and probably blow it up a little bit, you're still going to have to give away some picks. So.
They might be able to get away with like a lower round picks and like some prospects thrown in there.
Yeah.
Because prospects are always, I kind of think, the safer bet than just a draft pick. Because we should have some tape of what that.
Yeah, you got a little bit of data on.
Yeah, you can see what that guy's going to do in the professional world.
Yeah. All right, so the last one that I put together is just for you, Alex. It's just for Pittsburgh. And by the way, how are you feeling about Pittsburgh right now? Do you feel like they're gonna buy here and try and make the run, or do you feel like they're? I
feel like they're going to. Our front office over the past few years has shown that they try to. They don't just usually just stand idly by, just like, okay, this team is what it is. They do make moves. It's kind of shocking this year how long we've gone without making moves, and it's got a lot of people on the chat boards and everything kind of like, throwing the red flags, sounding the alarms, like, why haven't we done anything yet? I mean, but I also feel like the team, like, right now, it seems like they're trying to get hot. Like, they're like...
I say with y'all, with Crosby, Malkin, and...
you got Jake Gensel, you got Chris Letang, the defenseman, you got
Carter Gill. Those are your big 3, like Letang, Malkin, and Crosby.
Yeah, those are the big 3 right now.
Do y'all have the cap room, though, to make the moves necessary, you think, to see you make that?
Yeah, I think we do.
2 guys I picked out there. Craig Anderson, veteran goalie, over for Buffalo right now. Obviously, Buffalo's 31 points out of Boston in their division, and they're still 13 points out of Tampa in 3rd place in their division. So if I was Buffalo, I'm packing it up. This guy's 41 years old, but a pretty decent numbers this year, 8-7-2, but a 2.86 goal average, which is 26th best in the league right now. 91% save percentage, tied for 13th best in the league. So getting maybe somebody that's a veteran probably doesn't cost you a whole lot. Surprisingly, and you may not believe this, Tristan Jarry is in the top 12 in all statistical categories for goalies in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I couldn't believe that when I looked at it. It's holy
It's
crap.
like the thing that we said in the NFL videos. It's like Kirk Cousins football.
Yeah.
You watch it and you're like, man, he's not good. And then you look at the stat line, you're like, but he did good. Like,
all of a sudden you look at Cook, you're like, He had 300. Where did those 300 yards come from?
He sucks himself into 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, and then maybe a couple rushing yards. You're like, 85 completion. You're like, that was not the game I watched. Tristan's that same way too. I do think that goalies are one of those things, man, where you can have a 2.86 save percentages. In my opinion, below 3, you're giving your team a fighting chance.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's one of those things to where you could save. I mean, you can only allow 2 goals, but if your offense isn't scoring any fucking goals, you're gonna have that shitty record.
Well, I mean,
and sometimes I do think that happens with the Penguins goalies is that like you said, stat line, Jari does all this phenomenal work, and then it's our offense was we got 1 goal, and it's okay, great.
A pitcher goes out those 8 scoreless innings, and you're like, offense, I just need 1. Need 1. I gave you 8 shutout in. You
said the whole thing about the front office with Burke and next on all them talking about not wanting to get the 1-year rental. I mean, a 41-year-old goalie screams 1-year rental to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is not even probably your starting goalie, right? This is just going to be a guy that's going to help rotate throughout the rest of the season for you and give you somebody that you have a little faith in when you get to the playoffs.
Or just give your starter a rest day, you know.
Yeah. Well, Jari also is shown to have injuries as well, but
he's gotten pretty injury prone.
This was an intriguing one. Carter Hart is a young goalie for the Flyers, which is y'all's rival, and I know that's probably not
especially with being the in-state rival.
Yeah, it's probably not a trade scenario, but this is somebody that it feels like the Flyers are willing to move on for the right price. Obviously, Flyers way down at the bottom of the Metropolitan. I mean, they're literally right next to Columbus, basically. And so, I mean, a guy that's put up some really good numbers at 16.79 with a 2.88, again, 27th best in the league on goals per game, and then a 9.10 in save percentage, tied for 23rd best in the league. But it would be interesting to see if Pittsburgh was willing to go invest in a 24-year-old, right? Getting somebody younger. This fits what the GM's talking about, right? Not a 1-year rental, somebody that's under contract for 2 years, and somebody that would possibly be a long-term investment for the Penguins if this guy continues to progress.
Yeah, I would love to see a goaltender move. I think honestly the goaltending coaching staff might need to go. Something to kind of shake it up in that house, in that part of the clubhouse. Something's going to happen. I would love to see some more speed thrown in on the offensive side, though.
Yeah. Hit us in the comments. Let us know who you think is going to get traded here at the NHL trade deadline. As always, we appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe.